Gosh, well, it's 25 years ago now. Can you believe it? IsoTek now is a quarter of a century old since the very first product we brought to market. That was acknowledged by Hi-Fi News magazine as the award-winning accessory. It won the first product won the Hi-Fi News Accessory of the Year award. So we were very proud. So what made us different, and why did we start our kind of quest, I think I would call it, quest to design the very finest audio power cleaning system on the planet? We established that, first of all, we had to really understand the problem of the power line. There was a lot of products on the market at the time which really didn't fulfill on their promise. They were kind of doing less than half the job. And we identified very early on that absolutely everything in an audio system, whether it's your amplifier, your CD player, your turntable, when it draws power, it creates noise. This is referred to as differential mode noise. And that differential mode noise is created by audio products, but also it's created by all of the other electronics that you own, that you have connected into the wall sockets in your home. That could be your refrigerator, your microwave oven, your computer, your router, absolutely everything. All of the things connected into your wall sockets will create differential mode noise. So we wanted to do a product that completely removes the cross-contamination of differential mode noise. I do believe we were the first brand on the market to release a rack width power cleaning system with multiple dedicated outlets, with each outlet having its own dedicated clean power network. So that was the first innovation that we did, and that's where we obtained our name, IsoTek, isolation technology. We wanted to render free your electronics, your audio system, from the contamination around your home, but also to stop that cross-contamination between the output sockets. That was our unique starting point. And of course, we have other problems on the power line, like RFI, radio frequency interference, which is now referred to as common mode noise, because we have these cellular phones which create massive distortions. But we can come to that later. So that's what really got us going in the market. Yes, power is an interesting thing because audiophiles or music lovers, they focus immediately on the electronics, the turntable, the loudspeakers, and that's where their focus is. There's nothing wrong with that. These components are obviously critical and important for musical replay. However, we at IsoTek believe fundamentally that the foundations of a very good sounding audio system, irrespective of budget, whether it costs millions and millions or whether it costs thousands and thousands, if you have poor input power, you will never get the best from the electronics that you own or have invested in. Perhaps you're listening to 75 to 80% of your investment because it cannot function at its top level if it has a poor, corrupt input power. It's just the way that it is. But delivering that high quality power specifically for audio and audiovisual is very, very hard. We are a specialist in what we do, so we do it better than everyone else. 25 years of multi-award winning recognition tells you something. And now I'm going to say something quite controversial. And I want you to think about it carefully. And I'm going to quote a chap called Ivar Tiefenbrun, who is the founder of Lin Audio. And I want to go back to the 1970s. And at that point in the UK market, the audio magazines were focused in on the loudspeaker, mainly in their reviews. And Ivar famously said, look, guys, There's nothing wrong with reviewing loudspeakers. They are critical. We wouldn't hear music without them. But we need to start at the beginning, the source. We need to play a good, in that time, LP record on a good turntable. In his case, the LP12. Because rubbish in, rubbish out. You need to have a good original master recording or something from the original master tapes played on a really good source to get the maximum potential from your audio system. Better to play a high-resolution audio file than an MP3, for example. But if I was to be given the best turntable in the world, the best CD player in the world, or even the best streamer or music server, none of those products, those components, will work without power. They simply won't work. But the quality of the power that you feed those components will have a huge impact on their performance. But not just the source. Every component that you have in your audio system will be affected positively. So, the very first input of any audio system actually isn't the music. It's the power. That's the first input. Without it, nothing will work. But then you have a wonderful opportunity because you possibly haven't considered how important power is. It is, as I said before, the foundations of a great sounding audio system. And if you haven't explored high quality power for audio and audio visual, explore IsoTek. You will have a full system upgrade. It will be the only thing you invest in that will improve and also protect every component you already own. You can easily spend the same amount of money on a piece of interconnecting cable and have an improvement between two things. But with an IsoTek, we will improve absolutely everything you already own, give it protection, give it longevity, give you a far bigger soundstage, far more detailed, far more dynamics. And we can do this for up to 12 components. For example, the Nova down by my feet here will improve 12 pieces of connected equipment. Generally, we offer 6 outlet products, but the choice is yours. It really is important. When we started exploring the power line and understanding the fundamental problems, our main focus was on common mode noise and differential mode noise. And as I've explained before, differential mode noise is created by all components with power supplies. So all of the things you have connected into the wall sockets around your home will be holding back your audio system's performance. Your cellular phone, that's common mode noise, radio frequency interference. So just think about how much information you get on a cell phone. It doesn't get there by magic. You're bathed in a sea of common mode noise. And that gets transported into our audio system by cheap black cables acting as antennas. They're a piece of metal at the end of the day, and they will attract all of this unnecessary noise and distortion. As we evolve in the world and as we fill our lives up with more and more electrical components, so we have other problems creeping in. And now we have a lot of what's termed DC on the mains. It's a bit of a wrong term to use because you can't technically have direct current on alternating current. But perhaps if you could, the problem would manifest itself in this way. The correct term would be sine wave offset. And this is where, in the case of a solar panel or a coffee machine or a hairdryer or a dimmer switch, electrically, power is pulled from one half of the main sinus wave. When an electrical circuit is running a diode in series configuration. So, this offset of the mains on the 0 volts line, remember we have the 0 volts line and we have the main sinus wave rising and falling every 5 microseconds. And in a perfect world, it would be a perfect sine wave. Unfortunately, with the corruption that we have, it tends to have either a flat top or we have noise, and this holds back the audio equipment. But in the case of so-called DC on the mains, we have that sinus wave pulled off the 0 volts line. That results in bad power, but also in the saturation of transformers within your equipment. Now, we spend enough money on audio racks to know that vibration isn't good. So if you have a component that's physically vibrating, in extreme cases creating noise, you know you've got a problem. And we were actually one of the very first, if not the first, to bring to market a technology that we called synchro, which rebalances the main sinus wave on the 0 volts line, eliminating that problem and allowing your system to perform even more. And the way to use this particular product is to use it in front of an IsoTek product. So you would go from the wall socket to a synchro uni, be it a uni 10, which is a 10 amp rated product, or the uni 16, which is a 16 amp rated product, and then connecting to the IsoTek. And then you have big upgrade across all of the output sockets of the connected IsoTek power cleaning system. So that's how we've had to evolve our technology, evolve our understanding, and we can do this because we're a specialist in what we do. And all of our research and development is focused in on the power line, specifically for enhancing your audio and audio-visual pleasure and enjoyment.